So as a homeless person, it is so nice to find isolated places like this and just be able to pace back and forth. I just pace as I am trying to pull my hands apart, and I really feel it in the shoulders. I just move with each step. That's the thing that really gets me exercising my shoulders, is the walk. I'm swinging my arms, but tightly as I'm pulling the stick apart. I'm trying to break this stick. I wish I had the strength to break this stick. I got a rhythm to this exercise that I just can't enjoy standing in one spot. I really get into it as I'm walking. Even standing in place, that's not very satisfying to march in place. It feels a lot more motivating to walk, to take a comfortable pace and then swing my arms with it. And my shoulders are burning right now because I've been doing this for the past 20 minutes or so, changing it up. Changing up the hands, switching hands, all of that. Just keeping a rhythm. That rhythm is what gets me to fatigue, to the burnout. Because if I just stood in one spot and continued doing this, I would give up. I'd want to give up a lot sooner than marching. There's something very motivating with the march, with the pacing, that helps me keep going. I was experimenting with it when I was doing curls, when I used to have a gym membership. I'd be like, man, I really like doing curls a little bit more as I'm pacing. Pace back and forth in the gym and do curls. That's a lot more motivating than just standing in one spot, staring at the mirror, and trying to do curls. And you can see I've adjusted to my shoulders. The outer head shoulders have gotten a little tired, and I want a little bit more variety, and I can get that by just simply pushing the stick against my hips, and then I'm keeping a tension against my hips, and as I walk I'm able to rotate my arms, keeping that tension. I notice it's a little uncomfortable pushing against my stomach. I think it might be safer to push against the hips, but I'm rotating, keeping that tension, and now the back of my shoulders are getting tired. Okay, it's a maintaining attention, all entirely working the shoulder, fatiguing the shoulder. And once again, just standing in place is not as motivating as walking, because it feels natural. I'm naturally moving, but I have this walking stick to keep attention going. And the tension's pretty equal on both shoulders, regardless of how I'm twisting. I'm just moving. I'm moving the shoulder, which is what's tiring it. But I'm certainly not putting more tension on one shoulder than the other in any position. It's just experiencing that movement. And that gets things tightened, straightening up my back, reversing the damage caused from sitting too much at my computer, in the car, modern day technology, I'm trying to reverse, and I got other exercises to also further reverse it. All right, I'm starting to feel a little burnout in the back of the shoulder now. So a third exercise that I like to implement here is just to simply behind the back, like I'm in handcuffs. I think I've been put in handcuffs so many times as a homeless guy that I think about that when I do this exercise. I maintain a tension pulling forward, so that kind of works the front deltoid, and I'm just kind of twisting as I walk, because once again it's a lot more enjoyable to walk doing this. Sometimes I don't even rotate with this one. I'll just keep the tension, just depending on how I feel. This morning I feel like I have a lot of good energy, so I want to burn that out. And what better way to burn it out than in my shoulders, because that's one of the easiest muscles to work while walking. I used to pace, without a stick, just kind of pace, and that's it. It's trying to rely on the pacing itself to tire me out, and it's always unsatisfactory. I've long said that walking is not really exercise. It just gets you to the next exercise. There's got to be more. Walking on a flat plane like this is not really exercise, in my opinion. If it's a good incline, if it's a lot of hills, then yeah, I'll relent and say that walking is good exercise if it's an uneven surface. But if it's an even surface, all you're doing is kicking one foot in front of the other. When you get in poor enough health, walking can be praised as the #1 exercise, but I'm not in sickly poor health, and walking is rather unsatisfactory. So I want to push it. I want to do more. I want to feel more. And one walking stick, working the shoulders, is a very satisfying thing. It's taken me a while to build up my endurance. This is an endurance exercise. Yeah, I can try to create the most amount of tension possible. And I'll just say that when I was doing that early on in this shoulder exercise walking thing, my shoulders were getting impinged. I was actually feeling impingement pains, pinchings, and I'd have to stop. But then my shoulders built up and recovered, and I'm not feeling that impingement pain so much anymore now. So you work through that type of pain by exercise, by proper exercise. And I could also, I rarely do, but push my hands together to work the chest. That's advanced, and often I do not get places like this out in the woods where I can enjoy solitude and focus on my exercises, not having to worry about who's going to sneak up behind me. And so then doing the chest exercise too a little bit every so often actually is something I'm more motivated to do. Like you can't really see it, but yeah, right now I'm trying to force my hands together. Usually I just try to force them apart and at a comfortable distance from each other. I could do extra wide to experiment. This is a 5-foot stick, so I've been mainly focusing on about a 4 foot length, 4 foot, actually 3, just shoulder width apart hands. But adjustment is it's a very optional thing. Being extra narrow, I don't like it. I'm usually just keeping my hands about a shoulder width apart. And it's very satisfying. And then, you know, when my shoulders are too tired, I'll just walk with the stick. And that's it.